And I'm going to say again, Raekwon, check to see if any of your stuff is over there, because y'all not going to take me serious about not leaving stuff around this room until I start throwing stuff away. All right. Okay. I don't know if your stuff's over there. I'm just asking you to check. Now, first step. Please write this down. First step, you only deal with the first term. You only deal with the first terms in your divisor and your dividend. You only deal with the first term. Okay? What do I have to multiply x by to get x squared? Please think about what I said before you raise your hand to give me an answer. Thank you. I multiply by x, because x times x gives me what? X squared. So I put my x up here. Second step, you have to multiply your answer by every term in your divisor. Second step, once I say it twice, you know you should be writing it down. Second step, you have to multiply your answer part by every term in your divisor. Some people will only multiply it by the first term. It is like, what property is that similar to?
Distributive?
Yeah, distributive property. You're going to multiply this part of your answer by every term in your divisor. This is your divisor. You're going to multiply your answer by every term in the divisor. Okay, and the way I do that, check it out, it's like the distributive property. Waiting for all eyes to be on the board. I'm not rushing you. Just letting you know I'm waiting for you. Alright? X times x is what? X squared. X times negative 3 is what?
Negative 3x.
Negative 3x. Now remember, this is why I told you what I told you. What operation are we doing? What operation? I thought there were 4 operations. What operation?
Division.
Thank you. What operation do you do here once you get to subtraction? But since we're in algebra 2, what do we do? Now watch. What you do to one part of a polynomial, you have to do to what? Every part. And I guarantee you, 2 people in this class are not going to change the sign of the second term. Happens all the time. So I change this to addition, change the sign to the opposite. Change the sign to the opposite. You have to do that for each term. Have I done the same thing I did over here? Yep. Yes. Now, what happens to my first term right here? Cancels out. If it cancels out, you know you're on the right track. If it cancels out, you know you're on the right track. If it does not cancel out, stop and start over. If the first terms cancel out when it's time for you to subtract, then you know you're on the right track, okay? All right, now, what's my sum here?
2x.
Very good, 2x. However many terms I have in my divisor, I got to have that many terms here. So how many terms do I have in my divisor?
2.
2, so that means I got to bring one thing down. Okay? Sometimes you're going to have 5 and 6 terms under here. You don't bring all of them down. You look at your divisor. However many terms are in your divisor determines how many terms you got to have here. Everybody see that? If I had 3, if this was a trinomial right here, then I would want a trinomial right here. Because I got to put a trinomial in a trinomial. Got to match it up. I like the way you said that. Now, at the beginning, you look at what term?
The divisor. The first term.
The first term. Well, we were up here. So now, what do I multiply x by to get 2x? 2. Not 2x. 2. Now, I have to multiply this term. Just like we didn't multiply 116, we just multiplied 6. So now, 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. What operation am I doing? Guys, there are 4 operations. Add, subtract, multiply, divide. Adding the opposite is not an operation. It's a process. Okay? So what operation are we doing? Subtraction. But because we're in algebra 2, the process is called and because I'm dealing with polynomials, when I do one part to one part,
you do it to the other side.
Of a part, not side. No equal sign.
You do it to the other part.
Okay. Now, did my first term cancel out?
Yes.
So that meant I was on the right track. Did my second term cancel out?
Yes.
So what's my remainder? Some 8th graders or some students that I had in the 8th grade should actually remember that, because I taught you in the 8th grade. But because it wasn't a requirement for you to pass my class, you may have forgotten. But I did teach this. Baby, I'm